Good afternoon and welcome to State Adventures. My name is Carolina Gilcapi and I specialize in trips to Latin America, Guatemala being one of our favorite destinations. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our February group departure that is very adventurous, very active. So if you are looking forward to a trip that's different than just sitting around a lodge and eating, which we love doing as well, and there's plenty of that on this itinerary, check this out. Let me share my screen and we'll go through the itinerary together so you kind of get an idea of what to expect. So this Guatemala group trip starts on February 7th. I put a little brief itinerary here so you kind of get to know what you will be doing every day, what meals are included. The BLD stands for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this specific trip is based on minimum 12 people, maximum usually around 16 or 18. This way, it's a really great, intimate experience just for us. This is a private State Adventures trip. So let's go into the details. February 7th, you're going to take your flight into Guatemala City. There are many different options. Usually flights to Central America are quite inexpensive. I go to this region at least once a year, and flights are usually about $300 or $400. So a great deal. Flying into Guatemala City, once you're there, my team will be waiting for you and for the whole group with a big sign with your names on it and a private vehicle waiting to take us to our first hotel. So our first destination will be Antigua. So it's about a 45-minute drive from the airport, and it's a wonderful, charming city, colorful, cobblestone, 3 volcanoes surrounding it. And of course, the indigenous population of Guatemala City lives here, thrives here. There's markets, there's lots of things going on. So it's a great place to unwind and get used to being in Guatemala. So Camino Real Antigua is one of the larger hotels. And since we need so many rooms, we chose this property so that we can all fit and have plenty of local charm there as well. As you see, the views everywhere you look are quite beautiful. Once we arrive, we will have a welcome dinner arranged for the group. And then we're off on February 8th to explore and to start our exercises that we have included along the way. So we will go with a 10-kilometer run around Antigua. So you'll go through the city, you'll go through markets, you'll go through the life that's happening. So that should be quite a nice introduction to Guatemala and to Antigua, and then have lunch together after the run, rest a little bit, and we will actually tour with our local guide and see the highlights of Antigua, which there are so many between ruins and beautiful spaces to visit. He will know the ins and outs. I actually lived in this city for a summer abroad while I was studying, so it's a really wonderful place to explore on foot. And then after we will have dinner that night together. And then February 9th, we will still be in Antigua, but we're going to take you outside of the city to the Pacaya volcano. I have climbed this volcano many times. And what we will do here is with our guide. Now, remember, all the guides that are accompanied us are from Guatemala. They are experts on the destination. And because this is an active trip, they are all runners as well. So they will be joining us, taking care of us, making the trails are ready for us, making sure refreshments are there. All of these things are taken care of behind the scenes for you. So just so you know, these are experienced runners as well. So Pacaya volcano is an active volcano, but there are many trails that we can hike here. So we will do a Pacaya run. So of course, if you can run, you can hike, you can stop along the way. There's lots of things to do, but it's really fun. We send everyone and anyone up here, so it's very doable. But it is quite a challenge as well, but it's great. It feels really wonderful to make it to the top. And because the lava is still present there, we will have marshmallows and make s'mores on top of the volcano. And how cool is that to finish the hike that way? After we get off the volcano and have some time to relax, we're going to head into an eco lodge so we can unwind and let our bodies rest after all the activities in hot springs. So this is anywhere where there are volcanoes, there will be hot springs. So we will make sure you have access to some really nice ones. If you notice, I didn't include all the meals on this trip. So for example, tonight dinner is on your own. Why do I do that? Why do I not include all the meals? Because Antigua has so so many different wonderful restaurants. If we are together for many of the meals, you will get to learn the city, we'll get to see where everything is, and maybe pop into a place that strikes your interest to check it out, maybe break up into smaller groups and things like that. So I think it really benefits the experience if you don't have all your meals included. That way you really get to see and explore on your own. And day 4, now we are leaving Antigua behind and we are heading into the countryside to Lake Atitlan. And if you've ever heard of Guatemala, you will always hear about the magic of Lake Atitlan. It is a spectacular destination. It is perfect for activities, hiking, kayaking, visiting indigenous communities, being on boats throughout the day. It is a really, really interesting part of the country. So I'm very excited for us to spend 3 nights here. So the way it will look is that between Antigua and Lake Atitlan, it's about a 3-hour ride, but instead of just driving straight through, we're going to get off. We're going to go on a trailhead that is outside of the lake. So you get amazing views. You go to Mayan villages. You really get to see life outside of the city, because the Guatemalan indigenous culture is very, very proud, and you will see that throughout. So I just love this country. And so on our 20K trail, you will visit the communities, you will have a traditional lunch here. So it really adds to the experience. You're not just running, you're not just hiking. We're going to insert some culinary delights and insert some culture into the experience for you. Once we arrive to Lake Atitlan, we will check into our hotel and we will have our welcome dinner there. All the hotels on Lake Atitlan are on the lake. They have some sort of view. They have access to the water. So we love that opportunity, because you can do yoga in the morning. You can rise for sunrise, for sunset, and hang out there for sunsets. So we really incorporate the lake itself into the accommodations so that it's part of the experience. There are not a lot of large hotels on Lake Atitlan, and they go very quickly because this is one place in Guatemala where everyone will visit. So we chose Porta Hotel, which is one of the larger ones, which will have a lot of space for our group here. And February 11th, we're going to do the traditional part of the visit. And if you notice, this is the only day where we're not incorporating running. I think after 4 days of activities, we need a little bit of downtime. Now, it's still going to be active. We're still going to be out and about the lake. We're going to be on boats. We're going to go into villages. We're going to visit communities. It's quite a beautiful day, but you don't have to wear your, running gear. So it's a nice little break and rest for your body. We're going to have lunch out on the lake and then relax for dinner on your own. Why? Because this is your second night already in Panajachel, which is the little village. And there are plenty of little restaurants, street vendors, wonderful food to experience on your own. And I wanted you to have the opportunity to do that instead of going to a traditional restaurant. Now, February 12th, we are back to activities, and we're going to do a 10K run and, hang out together. Oh, I'll fix that. It says dinner, but it's lunch. And then to continue the activities, we will have a dancing lesson tonight. So salsa is really big in Guatemala. So we will make sure we learn some steps, and there are so many places to go dancing in Panajachel. It's a great kind of a backpacking vibe little town. So there's always lots going on, and we can enjoy that together. And then February 13th, instead of running, we have 2 activities today. So we have kayaking on the lake, which it is quite challenging. I have done this myself on our last visit. And because it's a massive lake, there are waves on it. And so it's quite an adventure, quite the activity to be able to enjoy that. And after kayaking, we will hike the peak of Tsunuma Mountain. So amazing views, really active. We can do hiking, we can do a little bit of running if that is what you prefer. This is your trip, so we will work all together to make sure we reach all your goals here. After we do all of our activities and have lunch, we will finish up, we will pack up, and we will go to Guatemala City. It's about a 3-hour drive. So in order to be able to catch your flight home the next morning, it's always good to be near the airport the night before. So we're going to go into the Clarion Suites, which is in Guatemala City. We'll arrange a farewell dinner for the group so that we can really end on a beautiful note. And then February 14th, Valentine's Day, we're going to get you home. So that is what the trip would look like. Now, if you are not ready and you want to add more, Please note Tikal ruins are spectacular in Guatemala. And we can easily add on it's like a 20-minute flight from Guatemala City to the ruins of Tikal and continue on for another 2 nights. And, I can tell you all about that. So reach out. This trip is based on 12 people. It's $31.99. If we have 16 people, the price drops. So tell all your friends because it will definitely sell out. And we look forward to having you. Thanks so much for listening to this. I look forward to all of your questions and happy travels.